Aaron Tuttle here for Ferguson Roof Systems. For 43 years, Ferguson Roof Systems has been protecting Oklahoma's homes and businesses with quality roofing services. Their goal was to be the most honest and dependable roofing company in the state, all while providing free services such as lifetime labor warranty and annual inspections. Well, mission accomplished with thousands of client testimonials, an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, and a 5-star rating on Google. Look, the weather gives you enough to worry about, so why worry about who to trust with your roof? Call Ferguson Roof Systems today or find out more at fergusonroofsystems.com. Hey, good evening, everyone. Meteorologist Aaron Tuttle here with you. It is 9:48 to be exact, and some of you may have participated in that debate watching. Need a break. That was interesting debate. Tell you what, we're going to debate the weather. We're going to talk about what's happening with Hurricane Delta, give you an update on what the latest is and how things are going with that. So thanks for joining me. So several of you checking in the house. Kyle wants to know, how many monitors do you have? Well, I've got currently 3 computer models this way, 3 television sets that way, phone this way. I could bring a laptop in here if I want, but I got a lot of sources I got to look at depending on what it is that I'm doing. That way I'm kind of, caught up to date. All right, how do I silence these notifications? There we go. Shut that down. That's nonsense. So, yeah, Bonnie, I saw that fly, and Jody and I were watching, and I was like, quit talking about the fly. I'm trying to hear what they're trying to say. I don't care about the fly. Anyway, all right. So thanks for being here. Let's get on with the program, shall we? First off, again, you guys on YouTube, thanks for checking in. Nat, yeah, you made it, and you're on time, so you're good to go. You guys on Twitter and Periscope, just hold your questions until the end if you have any, and I'll answer them then. Same thing goes with, of course, my boys and girls on the Patreon page for Facebook, and also on the main Facebook page as well, because once I look at these graphics, it's hard for me to double dip, so to speak. And you don't want to double dip the chip. That's a negative. For those that don't know what that is, it's an old reference to a famous TV show. All right, let's get on with it. I want to start you with satellite picture. Let's go full screen. So this is Delta. And so Delta has moved out and away from the Yucatan Peninsula. It came on shore last night, late, just south of Cancun. Direct hit there. Pretty much the spot I talked about last night in the deal. I thought I silenced those notifications. Jody, cut that out. Hold on a second. How'd that not work? Come on, phone. Matter of fact, I'm just going to turn the whole thing to silent. There. Take that, phone. All right. Where was I? Squirrel. Okay, so anyway, it's a big circulation here, and it's going to get its eye wall redefined here soon. So it's starting to intensify or strengthen. It weakened quite a bit. The landmass interaction, plus there's a little bit of upwelling of cooler temperatures just north that it ran into, really weakened it from a category. It was, remember, it was a 4 last night. It dropped down to a 3, and then a 2, and then a 1. So it made a dramatic decrease in strength, which is good. I saw a lot of the pictures from Cancun. They got hit, hard, but it did not look catastrophic to where it shouldn't take too long to get things back in order. I didn't see just a lot of leveling you would see with like a Category 4 or 5 hurricane, so that's good news for them. Remember, they're kind of used to that stuff down there, so if you have travel down there and you want to fly, I know the airport, of course, today was a mess. That's going to take a couple of days. I don't know how that's going to affect the ins and outs. You're going to have to check in with airlines and stuff. But beyond that, I think in the short term, they'll get a pretty good quick turnaround in that area, which is good news. Okay, so it was in reference to Seinfeld, by the way. It was George Costanza, and where he took a chip and he dipped it in a scene where he was taking it into eating it once, and he went back and he did it again, and somebody says, "You double dipped the chip." I saw it. So hey, above my head, send me some stars, will you? So play the stars game. It's on the bottom of the left where your name is, where you can comment. There'll be a star icon. You can hit that and send me a few stars tonight. That'd be awesome. I'll give you a shout out when you do. Okay, so that's the latest look at the hurricane satellite viewpoint. Right now, winds of 90 miles per hour. So it's a Category 1 storm. Minimum central pressure at 973 millibars. So as you can imagine, there's already now hurricane watches and advisories and all that kind of stuff into effect. So we're going to take a look at some of those. Now, the storm surge expected across Louisiana, anywhere from 2 to 4 feet on the west side to the east side, and in between will be the harder hit areas of 7 now to 11 feet. So they have upped the potential swell from the peak storm surge, and rainfall in that area as well. Again, around 6 to 10 inches of rain. So that's pretty much the same that we talked about last night. So that really hasn't changed. And as far as the cone or the track from the National Hurricane Center, comes on shore as a hurricane. They have as a major hurricane after tonight. So by the time we head into tomorrow afternoon, it should be a major hurricane into Friday morning. So major hurricanes category 3 in this particular case. And then it'll weaken as it approaches the coastline because water temperatures are a little bit cooler, which is good news. Plus, it'll have a little bit of wind shear with it aloft that should help to weaken it. So that's the way things look right now. Now, we talked about this. This is the reason why you got a area of low pressure in the upper levels of the atmosphere, moving on into Oklahoma for Thursday, and region of high pressure out to the east. And what happens is that you get the airflows clockwise around a high, all right, and you get it counterclockwise around a low. So what that does is that guides the hurricanes in between. And that's going to be heading into the southwestern sides of Louisiana shoreline. All right, so that's the latest look at the upper levels. And then if you look on with time, when this hurricane moves on shore, if you look out west, see a lot of that energy right here? This is October 12th. This is going to be next week. That's going to drive in a big cold front for us. So it's warm now, but when that trough goes through, we're going to cool things right back down to more fall-like weather. And there's another one that comes in right after that around the 17th, reinforcing the cooler weather pattern. So long term, we're going to start getting cool. Now here's a look at the hurricane model for the forecast for tonight through, I just went ahead and forwarded it through time. This is to 15Z Friday, so this is Friday morning. As we head to lunchtime on Friday, you can see how it's starting to affect the shoreline, and then it comes onshore by, again, the model is consistent with about 3 o'clock in the afternoon as far as the eye wall is concerned. Remember, storm will arrive well before then, and it will affect all areas of Louisiana from the Texas state line to basically New Orleans as far as the impact of some of the wind, tropical storm force winds, and then the, of course, torrential rainfall, some occasional tornadoes, kind of stuff that comes in with a hurricane. And this should be, if you notice, that says 84 knots. This says 97 knots, 103 knots. So this particular hurricane model, if we look at the Saffir-Simpson scale, 103 knots is right here in the range right here. So this is well into the category 3 strength and intensity. Now, it could weaken into a category 2 as it comes on land, on shore, and that would be awesome. Roger, you're being stupid, but I love it. You are my man. He just sent 1,592 stars. You're ridiculous. But hey, I appreciate every single star. Teresa's in the house as well at 50 stars. Thank you, Teresa. And thank you, Roger. You're hilarious. But thank you for playing the stars game. If you want to join in the fun, you can do what those lovely people just did. Okay, so back to the hurricane. Now, the overall model guidance, we take a look at all the models. There hasn't been any widespread deviation. They've all been pretty much on the same track. However, as we talked about, their track started here, and then it went here, and then it went here, and now it's here. So they're now moving into southwest Louisiana, and I warned you about that as well. We talked about this, getting a head start. In other words, predicting what the models will do, and that's what they've done. Here's a look at the ensemble runs of the American. It kind of keeps in that southwestern quadrant of Louisiana, even if you take the spread into an account. It keeps it out of Texas, if you notice. The European model that came in, let's see, that's the old one. I don't want the old one, I want the new one. Although we can look at the old one. The old one from this morning, again, same thing, southwest Louisiana. And actually, it was the first model to indicate a westward shift, so that was good. Cameron in the house with 200 stars, plus she's a supporter and a patron. So it says supporter +1, so she's all over it. Thanks to you, Cameron. All right, so again, even the European ensembles continue that same deal. If you take the middle of the all the tracks, center guidance, again, southwest Louisiana. pretty close to where they got hit by the last hurricane. Now, the models also try to forecast intensity. So they all have it at Category 1, but they have it quickly going to Category 2 tonight. And as we head into tomorrow, back into the Category 3, and then it makes landfall, and then, of course, quickly drops down. So it's got making landfall at a borderline Category 3 storm. So the models are indicating it's going to weaken a little bit as it starts to come on shore. For Louisiana, so that's good news. But again, you have the flooding. You're going to have the winds, of course, with a Category 3 storm. Now, what can a Category 3 storm look like? So this particular case, major devastation. Well-built frame homes may incur damage or removal of the roof. Many trees snapped or uprooted, blocking numerous roads. Electricity and water will be unavailable for several days to weeks. And that's with winds of around 110 or 111, 129 miles per hour. If it weakens just a hair, it comes on as a Category 2 storm. Let's take a look at that one. Well-constructed framed homes could sustain major damage, roof damage, siding damage. Many trees will be snapped or uprooted, blocking roads. Near total power loss is expected from days to weeks. So not a whole lot of difference between the two, just slightly elevated damage level. Again, that's 96 to 110 miles per hour. If you think in tornado terms, that's like an EF1, going up to an EF2 tornado between these. So that's kind of how you can relate it. Of course, instead of it being a one spot on the map, so for example, a 100 yard or 200 yards or a tenth of a mile region, this is over many miles, tens of miles, maybe even 100 miles, as far as some of the damage is concerned. Okay, let's see. Now, how's it going to affect Oklahoma? I'm glad you asked. So here's a look at how things ought to progress. If you do notice, we have some cloud cover that kind of does start to move in advance of this. That's because the upper low that's moving through Oklahoma will generate some clouds, maybe in a few sprinkles in southeast Oklahoma tomorrow morning. Nothing of any consequence, though. But moisture will pile into Texas on Thursday, and you can see how it kind of starts to expand northward and spreads into Oklahoma, especially southeast Oklahoma, by midday Friday. And even for us in central Oklahoma, there's a few little specks. In other words, a few sprinkles, some passing clouds on Friday here in central Oklahoma. Nothing of any consequence, though. It's not enough to do any good other than maybe get your car dirty. It's about the most it'll do. Deborah's in the house of 50 stars. Thank you, Deborah. Deborah's playing the stars game. Then, as this storm kind of comes on shore into Friday afternoon, you get a couple of showers in eastern and southeast Oklahoma, but not much. It's just very isolated. Most of us won't see anything good out of this. Then it's going to move on shore, and it'll start to move over Louisiana, eastern Texas, then head into Arkansas. So that's kind of how that'll pan out. Now, on the output for the rainfall during Saturday morning, you see, of course, a big chunk of it in the white down here. They're going to see well over 8 inches of rain or so, maybe up to a foot in some cases, where the track of that storm is. And you can see the spitterings of some trying to get somewhat measurable precipitation here in Oklahoma, where it's just clouds and a few sprinkles. That's what the model's hinting at there. And then if we look at the rainfall total, let's go ahead and go past that point into Saturday to Sunday morning. Again, this is where the hard line in the sand is drawn for measurable precipitation, and it's over western Arkansas, and then points east, and then down south in the eastern Texas, and pretty much most of Louisiana. So that's a very small confined region when it comes to torrential rain. There's just 2 to 3 to 4 inches. So there might be some pockets of flash flooding, especially in southeast Arkansas and definitely over Louisiana. And that's where the bulk of the rain is going to fall. Dustin's in the house of 50 stars. Thank you, Dustin. Now, if you're asking how are temperatures, well, toasty. We were toasty today in the upper 80s. We're going to be in the mid 80s. A little extra moisture will help to keep us a couple degrees cooler. Sunday will be our warmest day. Models have us upper 80s. Could we possibly hit 90 in a few areas? Sure. It's probably going to be, well, I'm not going to say probably. I'm just going to go ahead and go out there. It'll be our last day of extreme fall warmth. This is it, 88. After that, bam, we're right back to where it should be. So all of next week looks good if you like the 70s. Overnight lows back into the 50s. This is in Oklahoma City. And if you want to know about Tulsa, here's Tulsa, same kind of idea. No big change. The temperatures are very uniform across the state. And then if you want long term, let's take you down to my birthday. You want to do that? My little birthday party celebration? Let me zoom in. Can you guess which day that is? Any guesses? So we'll be in the 60s and the 50s. What? Some 40s coming up. You believe that? And then we are going to dip a little cooler. There'll be some days we might struggle to hit the 60s. And the long term, October 22nd, on my birthday, 45 to 74. I actually am between these two numbers. I will not tell you the actual number, but I do reside between these two numbers. How fitting. Deborah's in the house again with 100 stars. Lisa's got 100. Elizabeth just sent 300, and she says, holla, I'm a Patreon supporter. You were awesome. Thank you, ladies. Appreciate you. Jim's wife is angry with him. He's dropping cash on the interwebs. That's funny. Anyway, so looking, like I said, pretty fallish in our extended outlook here across Oklahoma City. All right, I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I'm not going to sing it with the tune, though. I'm just going to say it with some words. That was all I had for you. If you're saying, what are you drinking? It's really good. It's called Diet Tonic Water. And you're like, that's disgusting. Unless there's something in it. And no, not tonight. It's straight. Nothing in it. Let's see. I actually kind of like it. Remember, it's sugar-free, so it's this little sweetness for me, so I can kind of stay somewhat on my diet. Let me think. I think that was all. Let me go to see if you guys had any questions. So I'm going to skip through. Nose is itching. Don't mind me. Live TV. What are you going to do about it? You know, get one of those. By the way, you want a secret? If you're going to sneeze, I made Jody do this because she didn't believe me, and it works. Say you're going to sneeze. I don't care how big a sneeze is going to be. Could be small, could be major. You're about to just go to town, right? And you can't do it. You got to stop it. How are you going to do it? Take your finger and go like this. Ready? And then just like press up just a little. I mean, don't go shove it in your eyeballs. Just press it just a little. Done. You won't sneeze. If you sneeze, I'll pay you $5 if you do it right. Which means you won't sneeze. So that means you got to pay me $5. But anyway, so the point is, try that out next time you get to sneeze. And see if that stops it. All right, real quick. Craig says hook 'em. Nat says boomer. Sports and politics tonight. Jim is late to the party. Apollo's here in Mustang. Man, you must live right next to Jim. Y'all are both in Mustang tonight. And Apollo's guessing ages. He's guessing 47. I'm not going to say whether or not Apollo's right. But he's probably very, very close. Let's see. Let's go to... He could be right. I just haven't decided to say. All right, where'd my thing go? There it is. Okay, if you guys on Periscope, Twitter, I just loaded up your broadcast. So if you had anything you want to comment or question, now's your chance. Okay, let me go to the Patreon page. Please tell me summer will be over soon, Robert. That I did. After this weekend, no more summer. So you got it. All for you, buddy. Big Papa Pump, the sneeze dodger. So Jiraiya, he's a Big Papa Pump fan. He just sent me 1,200 stars. Shut your face. Thank you, brother. Big Papa Pump is your hookup. Holla if you hear me. That's a wrestling icon from back in the 90s. He's still alive, believe it or not. Most of those wrestlers die, but he's still kicking. Elizabeth's in the house with 50 stars. Thank you, Elizabeth. You're so sweet. And it's also cool to see you say y'all's names repeat. I have noticed that, by the way. So I see that several nights. So I pick up on that. So thank you for the repeated stars. Okay, so I scrolled up to your comments. I'm going to scroll through. Jody's in the house with Team AT. Guys talking about politics and the fly. We got phone numbers going on. We got dates being made. Parties are happening. Boy, you guys are an active group tonight. I silenced you. How's that possible? I literally have you on silent, Bone. That is impossible. I'm calling Samsung. I can't stand for this. I'm tweeting it out. Hold on for a minute. I got to set a tweet, an angry tweet. Seriously, that's not supposed to happen. I have system I've got system muted, notifications muted, media muted, and volume muted. There's literally nothing left to mute. I think Facebook is overriding the phone. See, Facebook? It's a dangerous game we play. You guys saw the social dilemma. The fact that we're all on here means we're all doomed. But I signed a deal with the devil, so I got to play by his terms. Okay, so this Jim, so this shouldn't affect us. Nope, other than this few sprinkles and passing clouds, it's about all we can hope for. Let's see, go through. Jim wants to know, are knots faster or slower than miles per hour? Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go take a look at our little chart, and we'll take a look at that. All right, so in this particular case, we've got knots over here on the right side, and we'll take the top end, 137 knots. And if you look at the kilometers, it's less than kilometers, but if you look at the miles per hour, it's actually also less than the miles per hour. So it's the lower end number of the three categories. Now here in the U.S., obviously we always use miles per hour. In Canada, they use kilometers. Now in shipping and weather terms and stuff like that, a lot of times we use knots, and sometimes we use meters, like meters per second, especially with radar data. But obviously, everybody's more used to the other. Good question. Okay, so let's see. Go back to your questions again. Scrolling through. Loving all these stars tonight. Thanks, everybody. Elizabeth, my youngest son turns 5 on Friday. Well, tell him I said happy birthday. October is a great month to have a birthday. Tanya wants to know, when are getting some decent rain? Ugh. Who's else got a birthday? My grandson will be 8 on October 10th. Well, Cheryl, tell him I said happy birthday. We got lots of birthdays going on. All right, keep on going. Tanya's screaming rain. Oh, Tanya, there's no rain in our immediate future or distant future, so you're going to have to water. Same thing for you, Sarah. Eastern Oklahoma, southeast Oklahoma may see an isolated shower move through for Friday. That's about all I can promise, and that's not saying much. I was supposed to go with my best friends for the weekend in Louisiana. I'm sad I'm going to go because of this dang hurricane. Yeah, it's a party pooper, that's for sure. Sherry, my grandson, and 2 daughter. Second daughter? I'm going to go with that. In October, congratulations. Happy birthday to both. Tanya, I know. Sad faces. Crying faces. I get it. All right. Well, I have answered all of your questions. We talked about the weather. I believe that was it. Apollo says, you were born the same year as me. How do you know what year I was born, Apollo? You been snooping? What's going on here? How do you know what year? Have you been paying attention? I have given my age away on occasion. My stepson has a Halloween birthday. Whoa, boy. My son and daughter and grandson are October babies. Debbie, boy, you guys are a lot of October babies in the house. Oh, yeah, you see a little super chat? So if you're on YouTube, you guys can do the super chat. I've had informal greeting. He's used it a few times. It's really cool. And it highlights your question so I can see it easier. So when things get like more busy, especially during like severe weather or whatever, it would show up a little bit better. So, yeah, I have been around a while. My goodness. Hard to believe. I've been in this town since 2001. I was in Tulsa in 99. Got here in 2001. Prior to that, Tejas. So I am a Texas transplant. Better than being a California transplant, right? I'm not a hook 'em horns guy, see? I'm an Aggie, which, yeah. Insert Aggie joke. Hey, one of these days, we're going to have a powerhouse football team. One of these days. Hopefully before I die. I've got about a good 40 years left in me. I think between now and 40 years, we'll be able to get it. So, anyway. All right. I run on, and I pretty much run out. So, I'm going to turn you guys loose. I just got home from church, and I just got on. Oh, no, Nancy. I'm afraid you're going to have to watch the replay. Way too much to recap. But I get right into it, and it's short. So we just been talking for the last 10 minutes, really. There's about 5 minutes of weather and 10 minutes of talking. But I'm out of here. So thanks again for all the stars tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Very kind of you. And we'll do this again tomorrow. Yeah, Thursday. Yeah, we'll give you another update and see how Delta's doing, if it's going to do anything crazy or unforeseen, or if it's just going to keep the course. So thanks for watching. Tell your friends and family about AT's Weather and my weather app, AT's Weather to Go. And we'll talk soon. Good night, everybody.